Holy Spirit gently lifted Jesus' soul that was so tired. In his tender embrace, they went home to rest, leaving the bodies for the disciples to care for. They shared their own tears of joy that the ordeal had been fulfilled, and the honor for the one was served. For 33 years, they had been unable to touch or comfort each other. The pain was gone on the physical level upon Jesus' death. This, the embrace of the one, and the knowledge that they would never be repeated, was the healing balm for both their souls. Joseph knew protocol and approached the guard with his letter of permission to take Jesus' body. As long as a family member did not challenge the letter, it would hold the force of edict over all other claims. The priests who stood around like vultures could claim the body only by demanding proof of a tomb to place the body. This rule was almost never used on people who were not criminals. Because the trial had been so fast and unexpected, they had anticipated an easy seizure of Jesus' body. The guard was relieved that there was one less body to cart off. Joseph, Nicodemus, and Thomas lowered the cross that bore Jesus' body. They pried out the spikes, crying as they did so. Thomas was deeply shaken and was encouraged to go comfort the women. Joseph assured Thomas all was ready except for the herbs. Thomas was comforted to know that there was something that he could do that did not mean digging into the fresh wound of watching Jesus suffer and death. Thomas gathered the women to search before dusk for the herbs. They left immediately. They knew that it was too late to anoint Jesus before his burial, but they could have everything ready when the next week began. Mary Magdalene, Mary the sister of Martha, remained to help care, cleanse, and carry Jesus' body. The priests were unnerved by the alacrity of Jesus' people were doing what was right. They were shocked that 2 fellow priests of the Sanhedrin were making themselves unclean to care for this criminal. A few were later inspired to find out more about Jesus' teachings as a result of this shocking behavior. But on that day it was just a dead body and unclean. They had chosen some of their own guard to carry Jesus' body to an anonymous grave. They did not dare because no one in their right mind would fight over a body that family members had claimed. Along with the letter for the guard to release the body to Joseph and Nicodemus, Thomas had obviously allowed them to do this. The same laws they preached tied their own hands. They did send their chosen guard to watch over this tomb. They had already been paid for extra duty. They might as well earn it. Joseph, Nicodemus, and the 2 Marys cleansed Jesus' body, carried him to the tomb, and wrapped him in his burial linens. When he was laid in the tomb, it took all 4 of them sharing their strength to roll the stone to seal the entrance. When the wrapping was being done, the guards looked around for other entrances to the tomb. There were none. It was a smooth, unbroken rock except for the entrance. When the burial was accomplished, Joseph and Nicodemus went home, and the 2 Marys joined the women and Thomas at the house where they were lodged. One house was never enough to hold all of the disciples of Jesus, and the women often opted to stay at a nearby dwelling. Thomas was now the male protector of the women. Women just did not travel alone. They would go anoint their beloved Jesus when custom allowed, and they had the herbs and could quickly mix and process them on the first morning. They would mourn together and pray until they could do that final act of love for Jesus.